So, you want to know how I add energy effects to my pictures?
Let's talk.
Well, here we are. Somebody asked me this on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure other people have these questions as well. So, I think I might as well make a video about this. Now, first, what we have here is Photo Editor Pro Polish. And this is on the Google Play Store. I have an Android phone, and I do, just so y'all know, I edit my videos on my phone, I record my videos with my phone, I take my pictures with my phone, I do everything on my phone. So this is all via phone. And then you'll also need, let me do a quick search, this app as well, PixArt Photo and Video Editor. And the next one isn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to download, but I just use all these three because I like variety. And Photo Editor Lumi. Next, we're going to move on to the actual process. Well, sort of. I want you guys to go to Google and then search Energy Ball. And here you can see there's a bunch of energy effects in Google Images. You see, like, you actually see a recipe. What is this recipe for actual food called an energy ball? Either way, search energy ball, search for the one that you want to use, and download it. Okay, so now we're in the Photo Polish app. That was the first app that I introduced in the beginning of the video. We're going to choose our photo, and specifically, we're going to choose the energy effect, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to choose the energy effect, and right here is, it's technically not an energy effect, it's just supposed to be a picture of the sun, but if you're creative enough, you can use it as an energy effect. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll through these options on the bottom, and we're going to go to, did I pass it? Go to effect, and then we're going to go to background, and as you see, it takes out the background. We don't want to select any of these other options here. It's automatically going to take out the background. I'm going to hit the check mark at the top. And now we just have the picture by itself with no background in it. This is going to be very useful when we start adding it to other pictures. So now we're going to download that. Now, the tricky part. Once you do this, you can add, you can like draw over it if you want. So for example, I'm gonna color this real quick. Go to manual. I want to color it. It's gonna be green. So I'm gonna color this green, and then I'm gonna hit the check mark, and then I'm gonna hit save. This basically saves it to my photos. Now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna back out. And we're going to choose the actual action figure photo that we're going to use. So hold on, I'll be right. Now what you're going to do is whatever action figure picture that you want to use, you're going to choose it. So I'm going to choose this picture of Broly right here at the top. I have him just floating there. And what I'm going to do next is right now, you see me scrolling at the bottom. I'm going to click this option right here, double exposure. So I'm going to go back real quick. Double exposure. Now, what does it say? Add a photo for blending. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that photo that I just edited a little bit before this, and I'm going to go to recent. And there we go. It's now on top of the photo, but that's not exactly what we want, right? So down here, we have multiple different options. Now, what I usually do is choose the option that's gonna most work for the picture. So if I want a lighter option, oh yeah, also you can use your hands to shrink down the image. And as you can see right now, it's just a dim image. Like you can see, it's transparent is what I'm trying to say. And you can manipulate the transparency by using the slider for the opacity right here. So I'm gonna slide it up. It disappeared, slide it all the way down. You can see it's still pretty transparent. So what you can do is go through the options. You have screen, lighten, darken, overlay, and then you have add. Whatever option that you decide to use is going to be based on your preference. What do you think looks the best? But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. But you might say, well, I don't want the transparency. I don't want to be able to see his thumb through the energy ball. So then what you would do is you have a couple options. You can hit add. You can use the add option and then just save it, or if it was up to me, which for the sake of this video, I'm going to use the overlay option down here. And I'm going to check that off. Give it a second. All right. And now we're going to do the same process over again. We're going to add this. Then we're going to hit overlay. And we're just going to fit that right on top of this ball. And you can even increase opacity if you want. And you can keep on doing this process. Now, you don't even necessarily have to, you could even lessen the opacity on it if you want. But you could keep on doing this process. You can even change up which one you use, depending on the effect that you want to have with the energy ball. Now, I'm going to go again. We'll do this process again, and then I'm going to add a different layer on top of it. So, double exposure again. Add a photo for blending. We're going to use this guy again. And then I use a different option. Instead of using overlay down here, I use add. So, I'm going to shrink it down a bit. And voila. Now, what you could also do is something like this. You can use the add option, but as you can see, the add option is lighter in color compared to the overlay option, which is darker in color. And so you can make it kind of look like the energy effect is glowing. You can even use the darker option. Like I said, you can use whatever option that you think is going to fit best for what you're trying to convey in your picture. Now, you know, Broly, a lot of times when he's charging up, it has this effect where it looks like he's changing the filter in the show, the whole filter of the show when he's charging up his blast. So, you know, in order to get that effect, I would do something like this. Or, also what you could do, and I might put a cut in the video here, you can use a whole entirely different energy effect that you've downloaded. You don't have to keep on using the same energy effect. So, I'm going to cut it right here, and then I'm going to show you what I mean. Well, first, let me throw this away. X this out. I'm going to download that, and then we'll be right back. So, before we moved on to adding another energy effect onto the Broly picture, I wanted to present you guys with another scenario, and we're still in the same app, the photo editor polish app. And what we're going to do is, once again, go to effect, then scroll over to background. So effect, scroll over to background, and of course it's going to automatically remove the background. But as you can see, it doesn't fully remove the whole background. But I want to show you guys something real quick. We're going to save this, make sure to download it, or we'll save it to our phone, basically. We're going to go back. We're going to get our, hold on, let's go to recent. And now, what we're going to do, once again, scroll over to double exposure. And we're going to add this picture. So, as you can see, oh yeah, something I forgot to do. I forgot to color this green. But either way, for the sake of example, here's something that you can do. You can overlay this effect, and if you want, what you can do, if you don't like how it's like uneven, like this blue shadow on top, what you can do is tap this eraser, and you can begin to erase this. That's if you want. Of course, you can zoom in if you want to be more precise. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, I'm not going to save this because I don't want to use that. But I'm going to use the energy effect that I'm actually planning to use, and we're going to continue from there. So now we are back again. And once again, hit double exposure. I have the photo I want to use now. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide over to add, because add tends to be a bit brighter in terms of appearance. But what we're going to do is we're gonna bring the opacity down a bit so we can start to get that effect better. Make the effect like, you know, when he's charging up his attack and that green filter goes over the whole screen. I think I'll have an example of what I'm talking about so y'all not like, yo, what the hell is this guy talking about? But you can use either add. I like that one. That one looks way cooler. Let's see. I don't like darken. I think overlay might be the way to go. I usually go through all of these to see which one looks the best to me. But I think in this case, overlay looks the best. And like I said, we could even make this a bit bigger. And we could keep the opacity, that's for the sake of this. Let's keep it at 50%. And then we're going to repeat this process. Double exposure. I'm going to go to overlay again, of course, and then now we're getting somewhere where it looks like we're changing almost the background. So we're gonna hit save on that. And also you have to use your discretion. Like this to me looks okay. Doesn't look as cool as I wanted it to. But this is like the basis for how you do it. You yourself, if you're more creative, you can make it look as good as you want it to look. So now that we have that in mind, what I like to do is add other extra effects. So this is completely up to you. This is just how to add the I showed you already how to add the energy effects. So now what we're going to do is we could just play around with the filters or go to effects. Now this is photo polish still using photo polish. We're going to go to effect, but instead we're going to use light FX. And we're going to scroll over to one of my favorite effects to use, broken glass. And we can add the broken glass. Now, what do you mean? Like, well, I don't think that, you might say bombastic. That doesn't look very good. Well, here's what we can do. I'm going to cut away again real quick. So now I'm just going to show you guys something that I do. For example, like somebody like Broly, I think of him as a character that, you know, shatters reality. We saw in a Gogeta versus Broly fight that in that fight they was able to break reality multiple times. But without further ado, click on canvas, and then what we're going to do, click the check mark at the top of the screen. And then what we're going to do again is go to effects. Then we're going to go to light effects. And we're going to scroll over to once again, as I said, one of my favorite effects, broken glass. Now, we're going to take the broken glass, hit the check mark at the top of the screen. And what we're going to do now, for real, is we're going to hit splash, and then we're going to go to manual. And what I'm going to do is, since we're working with Broly, I'm going to cover all of this green. And the reason why I like to use the glass effect is because, like I said, it shows a level of, to me, it depicts that reality is crumbling in a way. Make sure I get all the green in the glass. Then we're going to hit the check mark at the top. We're going to save it to our gallery. And then we're going to go to recent. And as usual, you should be familiar with this by now, as many times as we went over it. Go to double exposure and hit glass. Now, as you can see, I left the background there. Now, with the glass effect, you can leave the background there because any effect that you're going to use, like for example screen or lighten, you're not going to see that black background. Even here, I guess you could still see the black background here and overlay, but if you play around with it, it could make for a promising photo. But I don't want to use overlay for this. Let's just use add, and we're going to increase the opacity to the max. And we're going to save. And if you really want to emphasize the glass, like for example, I could just do that same process over again. Scroll over to add, make opacity 100, and just really save. And I think, like, I honestly didn't need to do that, but I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm gonna download that real quick, and then we're gonna go actually into a different app next. So now what we're gonna do is go to the Lumi photo app. We're gonna take the picture that we edited in Polish. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just some simple things. We're gonna go to adjust, and here's where you play with the contrast and all the other different types of details of the photo. I'm not gonna go through all of these because I don't even use all of these, but I'm gonna go through what I use and why I use them. One of my favorite things to use is contrast. I love high contrast pictures. I like those deep dark shadows. So what I'm gonna do is slide it over this way, and it gives that more menacing feel to it. And if you don't feel like going all the way with this, you can go to ambiance, and you can just slide it over here, and you can make it even darker if you want. So you can see it's starting to have that more sinister feel to it. And oh yeah, another piece of advice, something that I learned in my photography, one of my photography professors said, God damn it, said while teaching, he will always say, always take the best photo possible so you can do the least amount of editing. And I agree with that, but I still might do it. I still, with me, like to do a heavy amount of editing, but always find out, the best lighting and things of that nature so you can do the least amount of editing when you get to this. But the whole point is for the photo to be more animated, since we're doing toy photography, in my opinion. But I guess it's also dependent upon what you would like to convey with your pictures. Either way, sometimes I'll sharpen it so the picture could be a bit more sharp. You could use clarity, but sometimes if you use clarity, it can look too crazy. Like, see, I just put clarity to the max. That shit looked nasty. I'll put it back to the way it was. And you can play with vibrancy and color saturation. Like, you can play with it. Saturation. I don't think you really need that much more color in this picture. So what we're gonna do is save it, download it. That saves. And we're gonna go right back to polish. Gonna go to photo. And what I like to do for good measure is I go to enhancer, I go to enhance. And sometimes even when you use the enhancer, it's not necessarily going to give you a big difference, but if you look close, it really can sometimes really touch up your image very nicely. So I'm gonna swipe over. Yeah, I don't think there's a huge difference this time since the photo has been edited nice enough already, but we're still just gonna save it. Download it, and there you have it. That's how you do energy effects. Part 1 at least. We still got the other app to go through. So the next part I'm gonna make very quick because I know I've been very long-winded this video. Either way. So I've chosen my photo, and before we even start, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to crop in real quick. I don't think all of this is necessary for this picture. And then the other option to add energy effects. Now once again, you can see where a lot of these apps, all the options are gonna be down below. But what we're gonna do is go click on sticker right here, and then what we're gonna do is search energy Now, as you can see, you get a bunch of different options. And you see some, like, once again, what we saw on Google, we see some energy ball like effects. Now, what am I going to choose? I am trying to figure that out. Wait, I'll just scroll back up. And we'll use this one, the spirit bomb looking one. And as you can see, most of the work is pretty much done already. Now, once again, like how we did in polish, you can affect the opacity. You can, of course, increase the size. Put it like that. Increase the opacity again. And you might be saying, but Broly doesn't do an energy blast. We gotta answer for that too. Go to adjust, and then go to hue. And then what you do is just slide it until you see the color that you want to use. Uh-oh, there goes the green. So there you go, now it's green. And you just hit the check button, and once at the top of the screen, now what you can do, you can go a lot of places from here. You can go back. You can be like, hey, I'm done with that. And we can go back to sticker. Go to energy. Go to adjust again. Go to hue. And now we have another green energy ball. I think it's important to pay attention to the number on the bottom of the screen, because sometimes, you know, the colors might be slightly off, but for the sake of this demonstration, I'm not gonna pay too much attention to that. But now he's holding 2 energy balls. And basically you can go a lot of places from here. That's like a very quick way to do it, but I feel like when you download the image from Google, like, you have a lot more options, which is why I showed y'all that first. This is, I guess, a quicker way to do it. And, you know, you can edit from there. You can edit the shadows. You can download this picture on this app and then bring it into another app and adjust it any way that you want to. But I think I reckon that'll be the end of this this video. If you have any questions, comment below. Any improvements you think I can make, comment below. And until next time, this has been BombasticPlastic. Stay fantastic. Okay, so bonus round. If you were wondering how I got that rose effect on Broly in my review video for this guy, by the way, check that out if you haven't. I'm in the photo polish app. Tap on the filter option. And what you're going to do is keep on scrolling, and you can see like little previews of how it's going to look. And as you can see, we have a bunch of options where he turns pink. Now, you don't want something like that. Well, I guess you could use that. You could be like the light reflecting off the blast is giving him that pink reflection. Or you could choose which one you think feels. I like this one a lot, actually, low key. I might choose this one. I'm going to choose this one for the sake of this demonstration, but yeah. You could do that, then download, and voila. There it is. You're done. Anyways, that's it.